Ooh, hello, welcome to the 3D podcast. I am Lalo,
And I am Davido.
and we're back. You miss us?
I don't miss me.
I don't either.
And, this is 14, I believe.
Yes, lucky number 14.
Or unlucky, because I'm a Crip. That's my side gig. I think our favorite number is 13. And,
Ours as in you and Taylor Swift.
oh, is that a deal with her?
Yeah,
Jeez.
I remember from a movie. I forgot which one it was. I think it was like Valentine's Day. Yeah, it
She was in a movie?
Yeah, she's been in a couple, but she was in Valentine's Day.
I thought she just, like, dated famous people and then just, like, wrote
Songs about her.
Yeah, about breaking up with them and how she got cheated on.
John Mayer.
Got skeeted on.
So yeah, we're back.
A few things have happened since we've been gone.
Not a lot.
No.
Not a lot.
A team from Philadelphia won their first ever Super Bowl.
Oh yes.
Congrats to them.
Mm-hmm.
Brady did a fantastic job of sponsoring Butterfingers. It was a fun game to watch at the end of the day. And I'm kind of glad football season's done.
Thank God.
Hopefully we won't be talking about too much football season. We're all out of predictions unless we want to do off-season predictions.
I don't know. Who do you think's gonna get fired, man?
Nah, it's fun. It was fun. What did you think about the halftime show?
I like Justin Timberlake.
I
don't think. I don't know. Just like it was good, but it wasn't like great.
I felt like the show kind of. It was just kind of. I almost felt like I can chase the I can get up and do something else. I didn't have to.
But it wasn't terrible either. You know, like you can't like, oh, this is the worst.
What is not the worst? It's just for some reason.
It's kind of boring.
Yeah.
Justin didn't drop that album till after the Super Bowl. You know, so he didn't really have anything like hyping him up at the time. But shout out to the memes with the little kid that he goes on to the stands with. Remember that?
About that, yeah.
The kid was like searching up who Justin Timberlake is, or like searching up the lyrics to the songs.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
No, yeah, the memes that came out of that were pretty funny. But yeah, overall, at least as far as the halftime show, was like, yeah.
And then I remember I wasn't like a big fan of like having Prince, but I forgot that the Super Bowl took place in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
So you kind of had to bring him in.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
But I also love the memes for that. Like they had the Chappelle Prince.
I think I saw one that made me laugh quite a bit, and it might have been Zordon from the Power Rangers.
Oh, yeah, that's funny.
If I remember correctly, there was one like that. If I remember,
I think I saw one of those. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
uh,
But it was not a bad halftime show. Honestly, it wasn't bad. To me, it was just you know, I didn't really care for it.
Yeah. Any commercials stand out to you?
I love the Tide.
That's the only ones I can remember. Yeah.
The Tide were great. All the commercials were really funny.
They got me with the horse one. I was like, oh, Budweiser.
Yeah.
And it was like, no, this is a Tide ad.
So every time you see a commercial and you see them wearing clean clothes, it's because of Tide.
What about the 15 seconds of like black?
Oh yeah, I
thought that was like I don't know. I was waiting for something, and I thought maybe that was my antenna or something like that. But then I go on Twitter and it happened everywhere.
Everywhere. That's like I forgot what the amount was for that. I think it was like 5 million, maybe 50 million.
Yeah.
Dead air. But I'd hate for that commercial that didn't get aired. You know.
I actually just tweeted out that there was no stains on the TV, so it was just another Tide ad.
But I think the Tide Pods, I mean not the pods, but the Tide itself, like they won this year.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then I did
Hands
like
down.
The Budweiser ones were not too bad either. They're gonna ride off the dilly dilly.
Yeah. Hopefully they kind of slow those down. I'm already getting a little over the dilly dilly myself personally.
Yeah.
Personally.
I mean, after like the second or third one in the Super Bowl, it was like, all right, that's enough.
Well, for me, it's just all the people that are just using it now. It's just kind of like, okay, all right. Now they did a perfect job of marketing it, dilly dilly, and everyone says it. I hear it at bars, and it's kind of like, okay.
I did like the Doritos / the Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
With Peter Dinklage and Morgan Freeman.
I'm surprised that they collaborated, but I thought that was pretty cool.
That was a good one. They had great song choices. They were lip singing too. What else? I think there was another commercial that I really liked. But as far as commercials, I think they're kind of like slowing down the momentum.
Yeah.
The last few, say 4 or 5 years
now. It's because we're in a PC generation, so you can't do anything to offend anyone.
Because I remember like those GoDaddy commercials. You're right. You know, you can't show that now. It's 2018.
Danica Patrick and shit. Yeah. You want to see more?
Yeah.
GoDaddy.com.
By the way, you didn't miss out if you went on GoDaddy.com.
No, I don't remember. I think I was like, ooh, I can't wait to go to school and go to GoDaddy.com, but I never did. But yeah, as far as that was like the whole entertainment value of the side of that day. Football was good. Good offensive football. That is what the NFL wants people to see.
Yeah, for your fans that only tune in to watch
scores, touchdowns.
Yeah, that's a good game. But if you're like a super fan of NFL, you want to see a low scoring game, defense, a lot of 3 and outs.
Yeah, so, no, this was no defense, which is weird because that's what I've always said. It was the kind of Philadelphia's defense is what brought them to the game, and essentially the defense is what won them the game too. It was the big play at the end.
I remember like that same series. I was like, you know what? I don't think anybody has touched either quarterbacks at all. And we're supposed to have like that interior defense that was supposed to attack Tom Brady.
Yeah.
But both lines held up really well until that strip sack.
Yep. That was the only sack in the game, and
the most important sack.
Yeah, that was the game-winning play, in my opinion on that. It was a really good Super Bowl though to watch. Mm-hmm. So congratulations to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Except for that dude that ate horse shit.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
I think
that's pretty much it.
Yeah. No football talk for a while, hopefully, unless like Tom Brady retires. Then we'll dedicate a whole 2-hour episode on talking about Tom Brady.
We'll be giving a giveaway gift card and everything.
Mm-hmm. Two free tickets to fly to New England to watch fucking Brady get retired. I guarantee you they'll open up the entire stadium for him.
Oh God, yes.
I don't think he'll retire.
So it was a good game, great game, good way to end off the season.
Yep.
Thank God.
It's over. And I'm glad Philly won. In general, just because they're a great sports town.
I'm pretty sure everybody was glad because they were tired of seeing Tom Brady.
That too.
To me, I kind of hate when people are like, "Oh, I'm sick of the Patriots." Well, you have a team. Your team should beat the Patriots, then
Mm-hmm.
Like show up. Patriots are a good team,
Yep.
Say what you want. Yeah, they cheat, blah blah blah, but at the end of the day, they win.
Yeah, they take care of business. They're a great organization. That's what got them that far. Making out with their children for weird amounts of time. But all right, that ends football talk. Unless there's anything else you want to squeeze in there.
Nah,
probably not. All right, so let's move on to another thing that happened last week. I don't remember all this stuff. I was more hyped about it when it was going down, but Quincy Jones,
dude,
just kind of saying a bunch of shit.
He's spilling the tea, man.
Well, this is what I'm curious. There are some stuff that were said to be true. What's the actor from Godfather?
Oh, the Marlon Brando and Richard Pryor.
Yeah, Richard Pryor, but also someone else. I can't remember.
They were saying a lot of like, I want to say Sammy Davis Jr. and a few people from the Rat Pack, but I guess they were all just getting it on. All these dudes.
Yeah, and it's so weird. But I mean,
it's the drugs.
Yeah, that, and then he straight up just said like the Beatles kind of sucked. Like, he straight up said like Paul was
they're overrated.
Yeah, Paul was a horrible bass player. Ringo couldn't play drums for shit, and like it was just he just went off on everyone to the point where even he said Michael Jackson's skin condition he said was even like
BS. He was talking about like the plastic surgeries. Like, dude, quit with the plastic surgeries, and Michael's like, no, I need it. Blah blah blah. And he even said like Michael Jackson like robbed songs.
Yeah,
he took songs from like other artists.
I think was it Billie Jean that he specifically.
I honestly don't remember the songs.
It was either Thriller. Or I want to say for sure it was Billie Jean, where he actually mentioned what song that they took kind of the beat from, or something like that. And I think Michael might have helped in the process of making that song or something like that. But
Michael's he's a great singer and all that, but he really wanted all the records to himself, and you can't blame the guy.
Yeah.
You want to make yourself as hot as possible.
And I like the well, that's one thing he said. He said he had like an ego
Yeah,
or something like that.
everybody has an ego.
Damn. One of my favorite things they asked him was like, "Is there something you wish you didn't know?" And he said, "Who shot Kennedy?" So, and then he
That's right.
he tied it into a whole mob deal. I think
That's right.
which at that time would make sense. Right now, that'd be weird,
Mm-hmm.
unless it was like the Bush family because they're very powerful. But
He called out, and then I love the fact that he called out Taylor Swift.
did he actually?
Yeah,
do that?
he they were asking him, was like, what do you think about pop now? And he goes, oh, I fucking hate Taylor Swift.
Just like that.
She's a hook only singing bitch. I think he called her a bitch or something like that.
Jesus.
I was like, dude.
I know he said that about like he said he hasn't heard a good song in years. Like he says it's all
hooks. There's no
yeah.
chorus. There's no there's no verses, And it's true. You just hear the same song over and over,
How much is this Quincy just becoming an old grumpy guy? And I wonder how much of it is like if I say enough shit, some of it might stick to the wall, and it might like start just like a whole like I wonder how much of it is honest.
I think all of it's honest. I mean, even Richard Pryor's
Yeah.
widow, she even was gonna release the like memoirs that he even said, yeah, I fuck dudes. It was coke, they were doing drugs back in the day, so they would just do whatever. And when you were like super high and shit,
out, I guess.
You'd be having sex with like freaking mailboxes. Quincy Jones said.
Good coke back in the day.
I want to know which of the mailboxes though. Was it a specific mailbox or did they just go to like a random? Yeah, did they go to like a famous actor or somebody's?
I just thought it like interesting. Like if he had some top secret government information, like what would they do? Maybe like would they take him out, or would they think like he's saying too much, so he just sounds crazy. No one's gonna believe him. Let's just let him say what he wants. But yeah, that was a fun deal. I wanted to read more into the interview, but I didn't.
He also talked about having, I want to say it was like 20 different girlfriends. He had them in different parts of
including
yeah, he has a lot in around the world. He has girls in like different places, and all these girls knows that he has all these side girls,
The interesting thing was it was including Ivanka Trump.
Oh yeah,
Trump
that's
or
right.
whatever her name was. He said that and I quote, that she had the nicest legs or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know. It's funny. I wish I can see like Trump's reaction. I'm surprised he didn't say anything.
I'm surprised. Yeah, he probably did, and he probably has a saved draft on his Twitter.
Saved, just about to go out, but he was actually advised not to send it.
So that was a great interview, and I guess that guy who interviewed Quincy Jones has done a few great interviews with celebrities. I think Jay-Z might have been one of the interviewees.
Yeah.
So that guy knows how to get you to talk.
That's always good. Good journalism. I'd freak out. I'd get all like, oh my god, I'm in the room with this motherfucker, and I'd try to like, I'd get sidetracked. I don't think I'm good at interviews. Quincy Jones, OG for life. I wonder if he can still make any more hits.
I think he could. Why not?
Because like with producing, it's weird. You're hot, and then you kind of fade out a little bit, and then you can probably come back. I think Pharrell is probably one of the few people that can
stay consistent.
Yeah, like he can be gone for a little bit, and then boom. Oh, this is a Pharrell beat? What? And then Pharrell's back for a little bit.
Yeah, because you got like people like Timberlake, who was hot in like the 90s / early 2000s, and then he goes away. And apparently he's trying to make a comeback. And then I was thinking of like Scott Storch as well, the guy that produced the from Dr. Dre.
Yeah, I was gonna say also he did a lot of 50 Cent stuff too, didn't he?
And I was like, where's Scott Storch now, And I heard he's doing beats right now. So it's like you get these producers who will like have a really hot year and they'll fade out.
I think it's just they catch the curb of what's going on right in time to where they become the trendsetters, but then the next person comes, fizzes that last person out. Because I remember when, Timbaland was fucking hot.
He had Aaliyah, he had Justin Timberlake.
But the guy he had a pretty big, like, I think I don't know how many years he was like the top guy, but I think he had the longest lifespan. because I remember I would hear beats and I'd be like, that sounds like a Timberlake beat, and sure enough, it was him. But yeah, he wasn't quick. I feel like most other producers are kind of in and out. I think he had like the longest kind of life.
Him and Pharrell.
But like I said, with Pharrell is like, I feel like Pharrell came around, he'd kind of vanish a little bit, but somehow he'd come back, he'd stay hot for a little bit, then he'd kind of go back and like hiding in the studio or something. He's like very tactical with when he comes out. But a lot of people like seeing Pharrell, so I think that helps him too.
Yeah, my brother got me to listen to the new album with Nerd. I heard a few songs and it's pretty good. It's not too bad.
I didn't mind one of their songs way back in the day when we were in high school. I haven't heard any of the new stuff. I guess I should give it a listen.
Yeah, the album came out just like about a month or two ago.
Okay.
So it's not too old of an album. It's kind of a few months back.
And I was actually a fan of NERD. Nerd. I just remember I thought the song... Fuck, I forgot the name of the song. But I thought they were pretty cool. And then everyone I would kind of tell... like, oh, listen to the song. I was, like, everyone would be like, eh. So then I kind of was like, shit, is there something wrong with my taste of music? Like, they don't like it, and I think the song's the shit.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of that song, too.
But that was high school. Now it's... Now that I'm older, I'm just like, everyone has different tastes. If they don't like it, they don't like it. And now I can kind of look back. I should go back and listen to even that album again.
Like, man, this is trash.
Yeah, probably like, oh, this is what everyone was saying.
No.
What the hell was wrong with me?
No, yeah, there's like albums that'll age terribly. You know what I mean? Like, you'll have good albums and then albums you thought they were great, but you go back and listen, I'm like, man, this was good for that year.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of any other producers that are... Nah, this is a kind of...
Swiss Beats. He's kind of the same as Pharrell. That's pretty much it for like mainstream wise.
Dre. I'm just a fan of Dre's style, though. I think you get to a point where you're just a fan of styles. And he's not really doing much right now, so... He had the Compton... When like... Was it 2016? That was like his year where like everything was going like Dre and Compton. They had the movie come out. And then he made like the...
I want to say that was probably like 2014, 2015.
I want to say 15, 16. But Dre was like hot for a year. And then that's when he finally like just I think told everyone he shelved.
It was 15.
Yeah, he shelved Detox. He said it's on a shelf and it'll probably never be heard.
But it'll be heard. It'll be heard.
As soon as he dies, someone's just going to go there and like, here, let's get some money out of this. But I thought his Compton album was good. The movie, like, inspired... The album he made for the Art Institute or whatever. Yeah,
he donated all of his proceeds for art school.
I really like that album. I saw the vinyl. I didn't buy it. I kind of regret that, but I'm pretty sure I can find it online somewhere.
It's a good album. I don't think it was the greatest album.
I just really enjoyed it because I didn't hear anything from Dre, and I like I said, I like his West Coast style and all that. So when I heard it, I was like, oh, this is what I've been missing. So I will agree, it wasn't like the greatest thing ever, but for me, it was just like this is a style I haven't heard. This is a style I've been wanting to hear and I haven't heard in a while.
It wasn't watered down hip hop. It was actually like straight, you know, hip hop.
Like kind of West Coast. It just reminded me of like West Coast hip hop. And Kendrick is a hybrid. Like what he's doing is he's staying modern, but he's got that West Coast sound.
He has that influence, yeah.
So Kendrick is like kind of perfect. He's playing the time right. His styles fits perfect with what's going on. And he's versatile, and that's why I like him. He has, like I said, he has that West Coast style, but he also fits in with what's going on in the music scene, and he can also be a trendsetter. He's definitely on top right now.
I've got to say, he's not the greatest, like, he's not the greatest, like, feature artist, honestly.
You know what?
Like if you think about, like, the Taylor Swift song, Bad Romance, or Bad Reputation or something, I don't remember. I don't think it ever sounds good on a feature song.
When I started getting into Kendrick, I first started hearing him as a featured artist. Like, it wasn't... Excuse me now. Shit.
It's contagious.
We're not farting.
No, it's all hiccups and burps, yeah.
It's body fucking noises. All right, anyway.
We're unhealthy men.
So the... I kept hearing him being featured, and I was just like, I don't know if I like this guy or not. He's kind of coming in, and he's doing this thing with his voice that I don't know if I like. And then it took me having to listen to like Section 80. And actually, it was Section 80, and then I listened to the untitled tracks, and then I tried to get into Butterfly a bit, but I kind of really couldn't. But it almost like I thought he was. I didn't know whether I liked him or not when I first heard him in featured tracks. But when I listened to his albums, and I was like, all right, this guy's good.
Yeah, because I remember my first interaction with Kendrick. I think he was featured on Drake's album, the Take Care album. He did some interlude. I forgot what it's called right now. But he sang it. Well, he was rapping, but he had like voice switch ups. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know him prior to that. And then I remember hearing Michael Jordan's song like all over YouTube. And I listened to it. I was like, all right, this guy's not that bad. And then I actually listened to what was the album before Pimp a Butterfly? The Good Kid, Mad City. I listened to that album before I listened to Section 80. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right, this guy's cool. I understand how he raps now, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But I think he's a better, like, if he had his own songs, he's better.
Yeah.
But as a feature, he's not as great.
No, yeah, I can see that. Because like I said, even when I first heard him, I wasn't sure how I felt about him. But then once you kind of see him in his element,
no pun.
Yeah, you can kind of, all right, this is who he is. So now when I hear him being featured, I'm like, okay, that's just Kendrick being Kendrick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't mind him as much. Yeah, because I remember when I first heard him, I just didn't know whether I liked his style or not, and I got to close out Twitter because, like, if videos play with audio, will probably be captured on this thing. Yeah. What were we talking about? Okay, so we were on Kendrick, but we shifted into him because we were talking about. Oh,
we were talking about producers.
Okay,
that's right. Okay, I forgot kind of too. But yeah, speaking of Kendrick, I mean,
the Black Panther album. We just segue into that. Why not?
Yeah. So I guess they approached him to lead the helm of making the soundtrack for the Black Panther movie, and we were listening to it a little bit here and there before we started this podcast, and there's a few songs that like are really good bangers. Like they're really good. But I was thinking, I was like, I don't remember hearing any Black Panther like themes to it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like more of a standalone album. You know, it's kind of a compilation.
Yeah.
Compilation. I can't say that word well.
Yeah.
I can't talk.
That for sure. That for sure.
But yeah, I mean, he has a lot of good features. He's actually featured a lot in it, which is good.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you'll hear the guy that's like helming the album and he's only in there for like a couple verses and then he lets everybody else take care, you know. But so far, what I heard, it sounds pretty good.
It's a good album. It's paced interestingly. It's not paced like like a normal album because of the fact that it's a soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
So the music does have a flow, but it's not like, I don't think it's a flow like, you know, it's a lot of, I think artists actually do put a lot of consideration, especially now. This is kind of why I like listening to a lot of artists now, is I think they put more consideration of where their tracks go. I don't know how much was put into this one, but I don't think they that was like something that they cared to do. They just wanted to make music for the movie.
For the culture.
Yeah, and it all sounds good. I mean, I'm going to have to, like, if we decide to kind of talk it over a little bit more in detail, I mean, I'll probably have to jot down names and just little bullet points because I'm horrible at remembering stuff. Even if you tell me a song name, I'll be like,
what?
What's... and then I'll play some of it, be like, oh, that one.
Yeah, that one.
But no, it's a really good album, and it's exciting because it was getting hype when they mentioned, you know, when they unveiled Kendrick's name, and you don't see that too much for soundtracks anymore. So it's cool to get excited for that, and I was, because I'm a huge Nine Inch Nails fan.
Wait, what? Who?
Yeah. It just reminds me of like when Trent Reznor first started doing like movie scores, and then he would release the music, and it's like now that's being brought. It was a big deal when he did it because he marketed it really well and it got people talking.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Kendrick's not doing like a score or directly his music being directly like involved with movies, like it's now being brought to a bigger like attention, like this movie music collaboration.
Yeah,
with artists and film.
Yeah, hopefully it makes a bigger market for soundtracks going forward. I mean, there's a couple years where you'll see a great soundtrack to a movie, and then it just fades out. You'll go a couple years and you won't even care about a soundtrack to a movie. When personally, I think music is a big part in movies. It really hypes up the climax, whatever, the monologue. I think music has just as much to do with the movie as anything,
Yeah.
So having a good soundtrack, it's going to make your movie really great. So hopefully there's going to be a big emphasis on music going forward. Set a nice trend. So we'll see.
All right. Who do you think the first, if there's probably already been one, but I don't know. From this point forward,
Mm-hmm.
who do you think the first hip hop artist to score a movie will be?
After this?
Yeah, after today, because I don't know if anyone's done it before. That has been a hip hop artist.
I want to go with either Drake, Diddy,
Ooh.
or Jay-Z.
I did not think of P. Diddy, but
Diddy.
I feel like if anyone is willing to roll the dice and do something weird like that, well, quote unquote weird, it would almost likely be Diddy or since you mentioned Jay-Z, yeah.
And maybe even Nas. But it'd probably have to be like a New York film.
A New York film.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's going to be called Tim's.
Deadass on Tim's.
Yeah. On a fucking thin crust pizza.
But I think, honestly, those are probably the most entrepreneurial rappers that step outside of music. And they'll try to, like, get a hold of everything. Because if you look at Drake, he's, like, the hottest artist right now.
Yeah.
He's an ambassador to the NBA team for the Toronto Raptors. He has a lot of things going on. Hell, he just gave away $1 million in a music video, and he's paying for people's groceries.
Nice.
Everybody's groceries. But so he's been really entrepreneurial. I think he's trying to get his name out and get his credit up, and he'll do anything to attach his name to it. Diddy, he's been doing that.
Yeah.
He's like the OG of doing that. Like he's the one who's really started it. He has his own spirits. He has his own TV network. He owns Revolt TV.
He does?
Yeah, that's his thing.
Huh.
He's trying to buy an NFL team. Good luck to that.
Yeah, yes.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I wish him the best,
I'm if it works out for him, it does, and like good for him for wanting to do something like that.
And he's already done like film. He rebooted that Raisin in the Sun or something like that.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it was like about 10 years ago.
I don't. For me, it's tough to. It's not tough to watch movies. I just don't watch movies.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it's like that. I do want to watch Black Panther. I know that. Like I watch superhero stuff, and I like suspenseful dramas, kind of.
Oh yeah. By the way, there's not gonna be any spoilers.
Oh yeah, no spoilers. Black Panther, because we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, so don't spoil it for us either.
Might watch it this weekend. Hopefully, we'll see. It's sold out here. Just about all weekend. But we'll see. Like, I'm not too much in a rush to see it, but I do want to see it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
same. Definitely, I do want to see it.
Yeah.
I kind of I want to throw Dre's name into the list because I'm a big Dre fan, obviously. But I thought about the diversity of the guys he's found and how he's made his beats work, and if you I thought about that in a theatrical way and how he can possibly play out probably an action movie. Him and Michael Bay would work well together. So, but no, that was just kind of out of the top of my head. I was just curious about that after we started talking about just like the movie to artist collaboration.
My thing with Dre is you don't hear him a lot.
I don't.
So it's kind of hard for like, hey, we could get Dre on this, because he's kind of relatively quiet.
They say he's a studio rat. They say that he actually still spends a lot of time in the studio. Like that's his thing, but you just don't hear. You don't know what the heck he's doing.
Yeah, because you'll hear like names like Drake, Jay-Z, Diddy. They're always repping what they're doing. So I don't know. I didn't even think about Dre. I mean, he'd be a great candidate to score a film.
Or maybe Exhibit.
He's more for like reality TV shows.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish they would have him on like more shows, kind of.
Let's put a fish tank inside a fish tank.
Have Exhibit and Ludacris ever collaborated? I feel like that's two big balls of energy that probably should never come together in a song.
Speaking of Ludacris, going back to Quincy Jones, he had high praise for Ludacris.
Did he?
He did. He goes, when they were asking him who's his favorite artist, he mentioned Ludacris. And I was like, really? Ludacris?
Ludacris is interesting because when I was younger, I liked him because he seemed fun. Kind of like, how Eminem was.
Him and Nelly were kind of like the little yachties because they really didn't get the respect because they weren't like the hardcore rappers. They were more of like the pop rap kind of.
Yeah.
They kind of started the trend of like...
But Ludacris
has bars.
With him,
I like
though,
Ludacris.
is... At least my opinion on him was... He was a creative freaking, like, guy.
The way he rapped.
Yeah, and it was so descriptive.
Yes.
And his songs were fun.
Mm-hmm. Anybody could get along with it,
Even now, earlier today, I heard someone jokingly refer to a Ludacris song saying, "Give back, you don't know me like that." Like, and it's been years since that, and like people still kind of say little stuff like that.
So yeah, like shout out to Ludacris,
And even though I was never a Nelly fan,
Nelly was kind of the same way. Like rappers didn't really give him a chance because he's more of like the gimmick rapper.
Yeah, poppy love songs every now and then, kind of like
Rule. Yeah,
so like I still say like her, like I'm right her. Right,
oh, okay, yeah,
stuff.
I get you. Yeah.
So like he says it's all on
her Force Ones.
So. Yeah, that's because I grew up around that time frame where all that was hot, so I still do that. And like I said, the whole get back thing, that was kind of funny because, like I said, I understood the reference and the fact that I heard it coming from someone else, like that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Ludacris is the shit still. Like,
I think he's great. I didn't like his last couple albums.
Oh, I think didn't he try to get a little bit more serious?
Yeah,
I
want to say it was after he made that record with Mary J. Blige, talking about like a kid being homeless or something like that, or abuse or something.
Yeah.
And then after that, he wanted to like be taken more seriously. So he kind of like switched up his flow.
Yeah, he should have stayed kind of fun.
But I understand when you're trying to branch out, you want to experiment more. Make yourself.
And that's a good thing as an artist. You should try and do that. I mean, and your fans are either gonna like it or not. But I mean, you kind of have to because. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There's bands that I listen to, I get tired of when I was like, "Oh, this sounds just like the last
first album,
one,
the first album, the second album."
So as much as like some people kind of hate, this one doesn't sound like the first. Oh, they changed it up and all, but you kind of have to do that. I like so Linkin Park was one of the big bands I grew up listening to. So the first album was really good. Second one was good.
Then
the third, that's when people started kind of fizzing out. Oh, I don't know about this. And then I think one day after The Hunting Party came out, and I listened to 1,000 Suns, and I actually liked that album quite a bit.
Yeah, same.
The Hunting Party was a lot more guitar riffs, heavy, and I was like, man, this reminds me of the first one. And then after that, I went back and I started listening to some of the other albums in between, and I realized people were complaining so much about Linkin Park changing their style, and I was like, dude, like I was listening to everything, and I was like, no, this is Linkin Park. Like,
it's not too bad, like you come back.
They didn't veer off too far. I don't know, and I was like, I don't know why people are so upset, but it was different enough to where some people were turned off by it. But I was just like, these guys have a pretty good like discography. Except I still have not heard the latest album, which would probably most likely be the last one. Just because it sounded, I previewed it some of the tracks, and they sounded good. They were well produced. They sound like really good songs. But the problem was, I just wouldn't classify them as Linkin Park.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Chainsmokers type feel,
Yeah.
you know.
But yeah, that's that. We're kind of that's not it's not to veer too much into rock and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I can't remember. Oh, we were talking about Luda and Quincy, and all that other good stuff. But yeah, Black Panther
Go watch
soundtrack. Listen to the soundtrack. Go watch the movie. Wear your T-shirt. Propose to your woman wearing a Black Panther suit. Do what you gotta do. I mean, that's kind of. I mean, I do have a couple of little things jotted down here. The only other thing I really have jotted down was what you mentioned before we started recording. Was I didn't know about the LeBron James situation.
Oh, okay. Did you read it?
No, not really.
Okay. Yeah, it was crazy because LeBron James was asked about the president, and LeBron James said his point of view. You know, obviously he's not a supporter. He called him like racist, basically. You know.
Yeah.
And so a Fox News anchor, I forgot her name, but she's trending, and basically she was calling him ignorant, and she goes, "Why do they talk like that?" Like she was referencing black people, and then she's like, "Oh, he's stupid, blah blah blah. He should just stay in his lane by just talk about basketball." You know,
Yeah.
basically cutting down his free speech. You know, like we're all entitled. Everybody has their own opinions.
Dude, I realized Fox News thinks they're like on top of the world ever since Trump praised their network.
Yeah,
and they're like, we're untouchable.
So like everybody's going after her, and then even one of the Eagles, Chris Long, he came with receipts by showing like all these famous actors that went on and talked about Trump. It's like, well, these guys are not qualified to talk about politics, but yet you listen to them. But a black guy, a black athlete,
yeah,
LeBron James, who's done so much for the community of Akron, Ohio, you know, he's
brought trophies home.
One of the greatest guys, like outside of NBA, you know, like he's a really off the court guy. He's really good. He's a businessman, you know. He does a lot for his community. He just opened
up, like, I think, a pizza joint, didn't he?
He might have some,
okay,
you know, restaurants.
I thought I saw something. Some celebrity, some guy opened up a pizza joint. I thought it was LeBron, but
maybe. And he's gonna reboot House Party, his production company.
Oh,
but this guy has a lot of things going for him, and you don't hear him in the news for anything negative. You know what I mean? He's never done anything, gone to jail, ever gotten, you know, beaten his wife yet or anything. You know.
Yeah.
You know, I'm holding high hopes for him, but you know, this guy is a classy citizen. You know, he does all what he has to do.
The only thing you ever see on him is just he is a little whiny, I guess.
Yeah, that's the only thing. But other than that, you don't hear him in the news for bad publicity.
Yeah.
And yet this anchor from Fox News goes, "Oh, you're ignorant." She starts talking about how he left school early in high school, so he's not well educated. You know, so she's just slandering him left and right, and
which is bullshit. Like, I'm pretty sure he's got his GED. But yeah, if you leave school, or you don't have to, school doesn't dictate your, first of all, opinion for sure, but also anything that you like. Like, if you really get into a subject, you can learn more about astrology than someone.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Well, you didn't go to school for that."
Yeah, not all these moguls went to school.
Yeah.
There's street smarts and there's book smarts.
Yeah, and there's just like I said, sometimes like someone, let's say like a welder.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes a guy that's been welding for years is gonna be a better welder than someone fresh out of school. But how could you be a better welder? You didn't go to school for it.
I got a degree. Here's my papers.
Schooling doesn't.
To call someone ignorant.
Yeah, just because.
To call someone ignorant.
And use that as like a fuel.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of dumb.
It's stupid. You can't call someone ignorant when this guy's done so much off the court, you know?
Mm-hmm.
This guy, he makes hundreds of millions. You know, he's a rich guy. He doesn't need the money. But it's not like he's keeping that money to himself. I believe he is opening a school. You know, he's done a lot. So to call him ignorant and to like stick to playing basketball, it's just really stupid.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's an entrepreneur. He's on his way to.
We're in America. Everybody has a right to say something. We're not all going to agree on the same things, but he has a voice, and he should be able to speak his voice.
Yeah, because Fox News does it all the damn time too.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you got Ted Nugent, and you got.
Is he that one weird dude?
Yeah, he's that guy that had that. He's that rocker. I forgot the song he had. But he's fucking NRA 100%. You know, like guns.
Oh,
And you got fucking Scott Baio, fucking Chachi. But anyways, yeah. So
yeah, not to veer too much into politics.
Yeah,
I don't end up getting. You know what? Jump over there and tackle you down.
We'll start some hate propaganda. You know,
you don't agree with me. I think I should be able to sell cigarettes to minors. I'm just kidding.
But yeah,
that's as far as my little list here. That's all I got jotted down. I didn't know too much about the LeBron thing, but everyone's entitled to their opinion, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, exactly. We're all gonna have our views. But so yeah, I got a little list here. I feel like we should see how old we feel now.
Okay. Oh, that's right.
So I got this.
Let's explain to the.
So I went through and went. I didn't go heavily deep into this, but a couple of notable things that, you know, growing up for us. Like this, for instance, we have a 30-year anniversary this year for the album Straight Outta Compton. That's 30 years now.
30 years.
That's a little bit before our time, but we kind of grew up in months, that.
Yeah.
You know,
that was an album I grew up listening to.
I've never listened to it.
Oh, you should. It's good. I'm not going to say anything about it. You just should give it a shot.
Yeah.
Be wary of the time it came out a little bit, but I think it's aged pretty well.
Oh yeah.
So.
And Die Hard, the first Die Hard movie, came out 30 years ago.
I didn't watch it, but that's one movie that everyone's telling me to watch.
It's one of my favorite movies.
It's an action movie, or
it's an action movie. Okay. It has Bruce Willis.
Makes it easier for me to watch.
He has a full head of hair.
Oh wow, that's a 30-year anniversary of Bruce Willis having hair.
And then 20 years ago, we had Seinfeld. The show ended 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
That ended 20 years ago.
Fucking hell. I remember the big deal of the show ending because I managed to watch some of it, but I remember hearing that the show was going to end.
Yeah. So do you feel old yet?
No. Yes. Kind of.
All right.
I got a couple gray hairs.
10 years ago, Breaking Bad debuted. Yeah. One of the great shows.
Fantastic show.
Yeah, it's a great show. It's aged well. You know, you can still watch it today.
You can still watch it. Absolutely.
Jay-Z and Beyonce got married.
10 years ago?
Yeah.
Damn, and he only had an affair once?
Yeah, and they're still going at it. Dark Knight Rises hit theaters. One of Heath Ledger's...
Also 10 years?
Yeah.
Damn.
One of Heath Ledger's last roles. He died a few months later after that movie came out.
Mm-hmm.
There was another thing, but I guess that was pretty much it. So yeah, that's pretty old stuff right there.
Lost my virginity 10 years ago, around this time.
Lucky. So that's just a couple of things. I mean, there's a lot more stuff. I think there's a 50-year-old Beatle anniversary. I didn't see which album it is, but they're planning something this year.
Sgt. Pepper. I don't know. I just felt like saying
50 years, you know, that's fucking crazy.
I don't know. I like that little segment. I think we should shoot for more little stuff like that.
Yeah, it was a quick little trying to get some pop culture stuff going.
Any more little bullets to speak of? I know I tend to watch a little bit more wrestling around this time of the year because of WrestleMania. That's just my inner child. When I was younger, I loved watching wrestling.
Yeah.
Now I mainly tune in for Mania, or maybe every now and then SummerSlam or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But really, nothing too groundbreaking. Just the release of I forget his name.
Rich Swann.
Yep.
And Enzo Amore about a few weeks ago.
Did they ever say the domestic thing that happened with him, or did he beat up a hooker too?
So
like
that one's ongoing.
Guy?
The Enzo Amore one. That one's ongoing. The Rich Swann. This was against his wife. The charges were dropped already last month.
Mm-hmm.
But they agreed to mutually part ways. So they kind of like, all right, we're kind of done here. And
yeah.
I think it was Rich Swann who wanted to leave WWE. Because, you know, he's still in suspension. But, good luck to both those guys. I heard Enzo Amore was like a real dick.
Like behind the scenes and shit?
Behind the scenes, yeah. I was hearing a couple of interviews, and what you see on TV is what you kind of like get.
Damn, he is the baddest dude in the room. How you doing?
How you doing? I will miss those, his promos.
Yeah, he is a badass.
He knows how to cut,
dude. Yeah.
But we'll see what goes on from there. Other news in WWE. That's pretty much it so far.
Is Ricochet still on his way in?
Ricochet, I think. He's in NXT, and I think I saw a picture of him in the ring. So I don't know if that's a live event or if he's going to be on the TV tapings. I'm excited for him.
I'm excited, but man, that cruiserweight division just needs to.
I guess it's amping up.
Is it good?
It really is. They got Rockstar Spud from TNA Impact. He's the GM for there, and I guess they're doing a tournament for the next cruiserweight title.
What happened to the last champion?
I think if I was in the cruiserweight division, I probably would lose right away. I'd stay away from that belt.
Title's cursed. It's doomed. And the bullet points. Any other movies out? No.
Nothing in the movie wise. I do want to give a little quick shout out.
Okay.
To the boy Roger Federer. This is tennis. I watch tennis.
Oh, go ahead, give him a shout out, man.
Yeah, he's after winning today or this week, he's going to the semifinals in a tournament, and he's reclaiming the number 1 spot.
This guy's kind of a little older.
I was going to say he's 36 years old. This is the first tennis pro to ever get the number 1 spot at that age.
Yeah.
The last person was Andre Agassi at 33.
I remember hearing that name.
Oh, I loved Andre Agassi. But I think Roger Federer is like one of my favorite tennis players of all time. I think he is the best one, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But he's really great. Like I said, he's reclaiming the number 1 spot after 5 years not being at top. So people are defining ages,
Hopefully
Tom Brady, Roger Federer.
Yeah. I played tennis. I attempted to.
I love it.
And it's a tough fucking sport. It's tough. So I kudos to him at his age. And hopefully he pulls it off. I'm kind of rooting for him now.
Yeah, it's in a small tournament. It's nothing too big, but he's favored to win. Rafael Nadal, he's one of my other favorites. He was number 1, and he's getting leapfrogged. He pulled out of this tournament, so he kind of lost because of injury. But we'll see. Hopefully Roger Federer could stay to number 1 all year. It's early in the season, so we'll see how that goes.
All right, nice shout out. And
I guess I'll watch tennis.
Watch tennis. No, and I guess I'll do my farewell to Brad Evans and the Sounders. Parting ways, which sucks. I never minded Brad Evans because he was kind of like a Sounder. Like the dude spent 9 years in Seattle. He was with the organization just about from the beginning.
He's a cornerstone.
We've had him playing defense, midfield. He's played forward. The only position he hasn't played was like a goalkeeper. The reason why he was released wasn't because he sucked or anything like that. It was because we just couldn't find a place for him on the roster. And a guy like that, he's going to Sporting KC. Hopefully they treat him well. Because, like I said, he's a good player. And he is, whenever I think of Seattle...
He's one of the names.
He's one of the names that pops up. The one guy that I would like to see retire as a Sounder would be Ozzy Alonso, though. I don't want to see him ever. I don't want to see him slap on a jersey for anyone else. But hey, he's getting pretty hurt, like more and more every year. So who knows? And Christian Roldan stepping in his position, it looks like. But I don't know. That's my Sounders shout out. Shout out to Spurs. No. I gotta watch more basketball.
The NBA All-Star Weekend is this weekend, I believe.
Is it?
Yeah, they had the All-Star Celebrity Game.
Oh, I saw something like that.
Yeah.
I hope Hannibal Buress.
Yeah. Oh, is he in it?
I don't know, but I hope he's in it. I think he was in one, wasn't he? Like last year?
I don't know if he was.
He was in some sort of celebrity something. I remember.
He was on the Hot Ones this week.
Yeah, I watched it. That's why he's fresh on the brain.
I freaking love Hannibal.
Yeah,
I'm a big Hannibal fan.
I watched some of his stand-up. It was annoying because only had stuff from like 2014.
He had a comedy Kamasada that released in 2016, I believe. That was his last stand-up. And he's amping up for a new special coming up this year, I believe.
Awesome.
Speaking of stand-ups, did you listen to Chris Rock's?
No.
I listened to I think about 15, 20 minutes, and it was not too bad. But I need to go over it and rewatch it.
Yeah, and actually kind of
pay attention.
Yeah. I should get into stand-up. I'm waiting on specials. I think Bill Burr has something in the works, and I'm looking forward to that. And just listen to Joe Rogan's podcast. Listen, the comedians he brings on seem pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, just like that way, I'm still staying in touch with the comedy scene, but not as deep as I used to be. I used to love Comedy Central, man.
Yeah, that network's a joke now.
Nothing but reruns of...
I think Netflix really took that show over, you know?
Oh, yeah. They need to make a stand-up... They probably do have a stand-up only section, but they really need to
have their own set alone. Yeah.
Because I don't think they understand. They probably do. They definitely do. But being able to have that much stand-up comedy,
it definitely needs its own section.
Yeah, because there's people that just love a good laugh, and we need it in times like these.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think I'm ready to call it good on this one. I don't think I have too much more to add to it.
Yeah. Just a little quick thing. I didn't want to say it much, but we send our prayers to Florida.
Absolutely.
For that travesty that just happened. We don't want to talk too much about it because it's really sensitive. Mm-hmm. But, we send our love,
Our condolences. Yeah, it's really unfortunate. I don't think people should I don't think one person should dictate, when someone's life should be over.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Like that, especially that young.
Exactly.
And it really sucks. So, yeah, thoughts and prayers go down there. And I think this is
that's gonna wrap it up right there.
Wrap it up right here. So we'll try and get another podcast out in about a month. I'm just kidding. Maybe next week. Week.
Yeah,
we're getting back we're getting our groove back.
Yeah, we've been lazy the last few weeks.
That's fine. Yeah. All right. I'm Davito.
And I'm Lalo.
And we're out.
Bye-bye.